this thought leadership interview discussing Essity's focus on Tork sustainable products and practices. With me today is Audrey Wesson, Essity Sustainability Manager. Welcome, Audrey.
Thanks for having me, Harold.
No problem. Well, Audrey, to start out, could you provide an overview of Essity and its Tork brand? What services and products does this company brand relationship encompass?
Yeah, so Essity is a global health and hygiene company, and we're really focused on improving well-being through innovative and sustainable products. Within the Tork brand, we offer professional hygiene solutions. So think soaps and sanitizers, hand towels, bath tissue, often found in public spaces. So airports, restaurants, stadiums, offices, things like that.
That sounds great. How does Torque's holistic approach to sustainability look at the entire life cycle of a product and simplifies that into four key areas: materials and packaging, use and waste, carbon, and hygiene for all?
Sustainability is such a broad topic, and it can mean different things for different companies or different types of products. Essity really has a history of demonstrated leadership in sustainability, and we want to bring that value to the Torque customer by making it easy, relatable, and understandable when we're talking specifically hygiene products and professional hygiene products. So those four focus areas really help to do exactly that, define sustainability for hygiene products. The materials you make products out of, the fiber you source, the packaging you put the product in is all important to its sustainability story. How you use the product, how much the user consumes if they grab a huge handful of napkins, and how they dispose of those products. That's important as well. Carbon is really all about the climate impact or the greenhouse gas impact of a product. And then hygiene for all keeps us grounded and rooted on the people, the users. Are we providing hygiene to people in an accessible format in a way that meets their needs? So these areas really bridge people and planet and help narrow down sustainability for professional hygiene products.
And that relates to my next question. How does Essity use transparent communication, data, and training to make sustainability easier for your customers?
We've really been working on a system of information about the sustainability benefits of our products and putting that information everywhere you can find Torque products. So online, on e-commerce retailers, like wherever you see Torque, being able to access the sustainability benefits of those products. I really view sustainability as a collective action problem. We all have to join in it together. So making, procurement individuals or facilities managers, making their job easier to be empowered to make a sustainable choice when buying hygiene products is really our intention of getting that information out there, making it simple, transparent, and of course, avoiding greenwashing or any sort of misleading sustainability claims is super important to, again, empower good, sustainable buying choices.
And you might have touched on this already, but how has Essity been able to reduce the carbon footprint of Torque products?
This is such a good question because reducing carbon footprint is no easy task. And I also would point out that measuring carbon footprint is even no small task and is really the first step. So, this can be a big barrier for companies because it's a really technical field to be able to do carbon accounting, or the methodology is called life cycle assessment, to do that properly, robustly in a standardized format. Luckily, Essity has a long history of doing life cycle assessments or getting that carbon footprint data. We've been working on these since the 90s. So really some strong leadership there. So after baselining our Torque products, so getting the initial carbon footprint, through that methodology, we are then able to look at what areas can be reduced or decarbonized to get that carbon footprint number lower. So recently, we have made investments in renewable electricity to reduce the carbon footprint of those Tork products that we've been measuring the life cycle of for quite some time.
And are there cradle to grave carbon footprint data and carbon reduction rates pertaining to Torque products that you can report on?
Yeah, publicizing this data is a huge part of that, measurement, reduction, and empowering sustainable choices system that we've been talking about. So we are publicly disclosing our cradle to grave footprints for key napkin and hand towel systems. We also have the data available in cradle to gate format. So whatever way you're doing your carbon accounting, you can access the data. And then the other key element here is disclosing the reduction. So, for example, we have achieved a 21% carbon footprint reduction in peak serve refills, which is our continuous hand towel system that's great for high traffic venues. So having a significant reduction there is something we're really proud of. And we also announced a 20% reduction on express nap refills. So these are our one at a time napkin dispensing system that also helps to reduce overconsumption and waste from a napkin use perspective. I mentioned the standardized and technical field of carbon accounting, and that's also important to note here that this data we're disclosing is aligned to internationally recognized standards, the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, and other types of verification methods to make sure it's robust, transparent data.
How did Torque's inclusive hygiene playbook come about, and what are its benefits as it pertains to hygiene and sustainability?
The inclusive hygiene playbook is such a great story how that came about. Really, our research was showing that almost 50% of people accessing, public restrooms, public spaces are likely to face a barrier to hygiene. When I say a barrier, I'm talking about mobility limitations or sensitivity to loud noises, concerns over cleanliness, maybe skin sensitivities. So there's all these sort of concerns or barriers that are present, and we really see a business opportunity to create clean, quiet spaces for all users that can help businesses either get users to and their customers to stay longer after having a nice clean, refresh moment,
Right.
or to return to business. The hygiene standards are not up to the expectations of users in public spaces. And so we really see an opportunity to improve that, to raise that standard, and to really consider people that might have, disabilities or young kids and families that have different needs in public spaces, and to really design the restroom for all users and get, again, that return business and better hygiene.
Right. And how can a company and or an end user set realistic timelines for developing and implementing sustainability strategies?
Sustainability is certainly a journey for every company, and it might not look linear for everyone. But, I've mentioned I see it as a collective action issue. So it's really important that we work together along the value chain. So I would say, include your suppliers, include your partners in what you're trying to do, what you think your goals could be. And another key element in today's day and age is to not shy away from the quantifiable elements of sustainability. We talked about carbon data, progressive and sustainable suppliers like Essity have this data. So it's no longer a question of I can't set a climate goal because I don't know the impact of the products I'm buying. You can seek out that information, you can measure, and you can work with your suppliers on a similar journey, whether it's climate reduction, waste reduction, inclusive design, or any other element of sustainability. So that's my suggestion. Bring your value chain together, find partners that are on a similar mission.
And my last basic question, how can sustainability programs and practices provide companies with a competitive advantage?
They absolutely should be providing a competitive advantage. I see sustainability as built in to what any company does, trying to gain return business, like what we talked about with inclusive hygiene practices. There's also, of course, brand equity and employee retention as an element. But I would think of sustainability in the broadest definition of the word. It's the ability to sustain, so to build resilience as consumer expectations change, regulations are picking up along waste and plastics and packaging, supply chain disruption. Sustainability programs should really help safeguard against all of these curveballs and help businesses be thinking in the long term for their customers, for people, and the planet.
Right. And do you have anything else to add on the subject?
I would really just say that, the terminology around sustainability can go in and out of fashion. There's the ESG era, corporate citizenship, corporate social responsibility, sustainability, future proofing, whatever you call it. I think to not get hung up on the lingo of the moment, but just to know that, there are suppliers and companies out here like Essity really steadfast in the commitment to build a better company for people and planet, which really just translates to a better company for the long term. So, I think it's really an inherent element if you're thinking deeply about your customers and the long-term health of your business to take sustainability seriously.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Audrey, for your insights and information about Essity's focus on Tork sustainable products and practices. I've been talking to Audrey Wesson, Sustainability Manager at Essity. For more information about the company, please visit www.essity.com. That's www.essity.com. Thank you.